What's going on, everybody? This is Crazy Russian 86 here. In this video is a video response to St Petersburg. Now, for all the idiots and trolls out there who just wanna watch my videos to leave the stupid comments, I would strongly suggest you to shut it down right at this point. Cause comments gonna be set for approval. Because I don't want anybody to leave here stupid comments. Because this is a serious video. So for idiots out there who just wanna talk shit, you came to the wrong video. And you might as well just leave it right now, please. Now, let me get to the point of this fucking video, okay? So this woman, St Petersburg, she basically thinks that all white people wanna degrade and humiliate black women or black people. If a white person have sex with a black person, it's a plantation sex or whatever the fuck it is. I'm from Russia, so I'm not familiar with this bullshit ass culture anyway. It's not, even though I'm white, it doesn't really affect me. It doesn't really apply to me because I came from the whole different world. But I do live in America, as you all know. And yeah, I'm 75% Jewish, 25% Russian. I'm dark complected, Caucasian male, about to be 30 years old. And I'm dating a black woman from Sierra Leone who's 5 years older than me, who has a daughter who's like fucking 14 years old. And I'm white and she's black, okay? Dear St Petersburg, I sent you the video. I was talking about the nature of our relationship. And I tell you one thing. Yes, I agree with you. It's not that easy for multicultural dating to work. But I had different problems than what experience, let's say, white West European American males and black West African woman, okay? That's a little bit different. So, my woman, she's from West Africa, she's from Sierra Leone. I'm from St Petersburg, Russia, so we also have this East and West problem too. Because the thing about Russians, they are not like pure Europeans either. Like I'm Eastern European and Middle Eastern, so I'm like from the whole part of the world, and I'm an immigrant, so even though I'm white, I'm still experiencing a lot of problems with Americans myself, because I'm different. And when I was in school, I didn't learn anything about this part of the history. As a matter of fact, it's funny that my mom was calling me an N-word because I was hard-working person, and in Russia N-word is okay thing to say. Like in Russia, if you call black person nigger, okay, that's not even a derogatory word. We call them, Russian version is the word nigger, okay? There is even Russian joke called "Негр загорает", with which the word is tanning. That's like a joke because, you know, black people have a dark skin, so how can they tan, you know? That's just like Russian humor right there. And don't feel offended, by the way, I'm not trying to be racist here. I know a lot of people say, oh, you're racist. No, I'm not, you an idiot. I'm just trying to explain you something. I'm not trying to be a racist here. So if you feel that way, well, you don't understand Russian mentality, oh well. You're not from Russia, so... So my point on this is anyway, you know, not all white people are the same. It also depends where you're from. Not all black people are the same. Like for example, you talk about black people, you talk about West African ancestors or West African slaves, right? But, you know, East Africans like Somalians, Ethiopians, they're completely different people. They're all black, so... Really, you cannot generalize it like that, you know. Or Russians and Americans, they're all white. they're all different, they cannot get along either. So really, you cannot live here in black and white world, because really everybody is different. So I think you should be more specific about black and white people. Otherwise you'll be mistaken, because like you're gonna be thinking about, oh, I'm a racist when I'm not, or maybe I'm a racist in a different way, and I'm gonna get into it in a second. You know, like, you know, let's think about where actually the racism is coming from, okay? What are the origins of racism? You know, I think that it's, you know, racism can be like, oh, you look differently, I hate you. Or it can be like, you know, I got to know people from different ethnicity, right? For example, I was not racist or prejudiced at all. And then I was seeing people from these different ethnicities messing with my ways of life, messing with my lifestyles, telling me things that I'm crazy, I'm this, I'm that, I'm not doing things right, or vice versa. And then we stay on each other's way all the time, and everybody get pissed off and offended, not intentionally. And then what happens is, like, let's say I got angry, I say, oh, this nigger, so no, or this speaks, or this like assholes, or whatever, you know, whatever the word it is. Because I got pissed at them and I'm trying just to hurt them because they just piss me off. And they piss me off not necessarily because of their color of the skin, but they piss me off because of their character. But I'm a believer that the character has a relationship between, you know, not only color of the skin. I think facial features are important too, because for example Eastern Europeans and Western Europeans, they all can be white, but they're very different. And if you look at white people, they are not all the same either, you know. Like Russians and Americans, they don't look alike at all. Like Western Europeans, they look Western, and Russians, they look kind of Eastern. They look like in between fucking Asians and Americans, for example, you know. As a matter of fact, Russia was invaded by Asia for like 240 years. So actually, Russia is like half Asian country as it is. So I'm not really Asian, I don't consider myself Asian, but there is a chance I probably have like Slavic, Middle Eastern, Asian in me. Maybe I have some German and Spanish, because this is where Jews used to live. So who knows who the fuck I am. I can be like German, Spanish, Tatar, Russian and Middle Eastern guy. Who the fuck knows? But these are some possibilities whom I actually can be ethnically, you know. If you're gonna like do my ancestry bullshit, which I'm not gonna do because I'm cheap and I don't want to spend money for that shit. And speaking of cheapness, that's one of the problems I had with my girlfriend. She likes to spend money and I don't. And you know, like in my relationship, I felt abused because she wanted, you know, Emil, buy me this, buy me that, here and there, because this is how she got accustomed to. And I got accustomed to live super cheap. And I feel like, damn, before I used to get pussy for like 30 bucks, you know. And now, shit, I have to pay for a woman, spend money on her, that's fucking annoying. You know, I didn't really like it. But I felt like I have to do it because I love her and, you know, I felt like I need to help her. Because, you know, I'm from collectivist society, I'm not as individualistic as Americans are. Enough, and if I'm in a relationship with a woman, I look at it like an obligation, you know. I don't look at relationship like, you know, boom, 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 get to woman's pants, ta ta ta, yada yada yada. I don't roll like that, okay, because I'm from different culture. And I got problem with the individualism myself. Now, my girlfriend is more individualistic, but she's African, so she thinks that, you know, men should spend money on women. And I don't think that way. And on that part, we actually had some disagreements, but we got over it. And I had moments when I was getting angry at her. And sometimes I was going on the internet and watching videos of David Duke, watching videos with Adolf Hitler and things like that. Because, you know, I was getting angry at multiculturalism relationship. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I had moments when I was angry, you know. I was angry at her because I feel like she was messing with my ways. And also when I was trying to be affectionate with her, she was calling me childish, and I was getting mad at that too. I didn't tell her that, but I was getting pissed off. Because I was thinking, first of all, I give her money, and what, she gives me pussy? That's like a prostitution. So, you know, like, I feel like I was giving her everything because she was not doing shit for me. And I was getting angry, you know. And I was going off at her sometimes. But see, like, in our relationship, we kind of got to consensus because we always explain ourselves. I'm explaining myself to her, explain her my mentality, she explains me her mentality. And that was not an easy relationship, but we kind of went through it, and you know, I love my woman, we want to be together, we kind of have a serious relationship. We've been together for 4 years. But I'm telling you, it's not an easy relationship. It was difficult for me. Maybe it was difficult for her. Sometimes I feel pissed on, especially the first time, because, you know, I had mixed signals. On one hand, I feel like she was nice. On the other hand, you know, I feel like, you know, she's been taking advantage of me. Because it's like, you know, I like to live cheap. I don't like to spend a lot of money on women. You know, I don't believe in that. And when I was telling it to my parents, they were telling me, you know, Tamil, you should find somebody else. And this, because they were telling me something I didn't want to hear, I was getting mad and pissed off again. So I tell you one thing, like, yes, you can pull off the multicultural relationship, but that's difficult. And also another thing too, I was being myself and I was saying certain things in front of her mom. And I'm not saying that I was like saying something inappropriate, like talking like sexual stuff or something which is like you shouldn't say. But I don't remember like small cultural things which, you know, you shouldn't say, and I didn't realize it. Just like in America, like sometimes I feel like certain things I say is not a big deal to say, but people may get offended. And I'm like, why the fuck you getting offended? What's offensive about it? But to them it is, you know, things like that. It's hard even for me to explain it, but there were some things like that, you know. So it's not easy, you know, to date somebody from different race, but it's not only race, it's also culture takes place, you know. So my point is that, you know, don't think that if white man is dating black woman, it's gonna be like plantation, exploitation, sex relationship. Not necessarily like that. It can be different ways. It can be like, you know, like my situation, right? She was upset at me because I was rude and saying things which are uncalled for, and I was upset with her because she wants to spend a lot of money and she always needs some financial help and shit like that, and I don't like it. And I'm like, why can't you live cheap, you know? So it's like, it can be lifestyle thing, you know? Like, it can be lifestyle issues. And on this, you know, on that, it can be like, you may have good intention, she may have good intention, but people can misconstrue things, can not understand each other. It's not necessarily superiority versus inferiority thing, because I'm coming from Russia, in the place where there's no black people. So, to me, like sometimes, like, you know how Russian people treat blacks. If black people act crazy, they just punch them in the face and cast them out. But Russian people, they don't have this like slave mentality. They're not trying to exploit and enslave blacks. But Russian man, what he can do to black person pisses him off. Not in America, because in America I learned my lesson. I cannot punch anybody in the face. I punched my roommate in the face once, and I believe he deserved it because he was acting like a piece of shit, and he deserves to be punched in the face, but in America you cannot do it because, you know, that's like a crime, which I personally don't agree with because, you know, sometimes shit should be cleaned up, and that applies to humans too. So some humans needs to be punched in the face, but then again, it's not an American way. So, if Russian person in Russia, there is a black man in Russia, Russian people can punch black people in the face if they act out, act stupid, if they talk shit about them, like calling them racist. But Russian men, they don't have this mentality of exploiting black people, okay? They have a mentality to like make fun of them like they don't know Russian and you tell them, say, "Я пидор." It means that tell me that you're a faggot, you know? So the black man will say, "Я пидор," and the Russian people just laugh, ha 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 ha. This man just said to himself that he's a fucking faggot, ha 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 ha. These are the things which Russian people can do. Russian people can call you nigger. Russian people can call you black ass. You know? These are the things Russian people can do. But again, exploiting blacks like Americans did, Russian people, they're not gonna do, they don't roll like that, okay? And if you're a black person in Russia and you don't act out, they're not gonna even fuck with you. So, as a matter of fact, black people in Russia, you know what they're fucking doing? They're giving away the flyers because they think that black people are so exotic because there is no black people in Russia, that they think that, you know what, for the businesses it's good to hire black people, so black people, like, they think that all black person is exotic, so if the black person gives somebody a flyer in Russia, they think that the chances a person gonna take the flyer for a black person is higher, because they look at black people like something exotic, something they never seen in their lives. So Russian people are not racist towards black, they are pretty open-minded because they never had much issues with blacks, they never had, you know, bad relationship with blacks. As a matter of fact, in the time of Great Depression, Jews and blacks were going to Soviet Union for better lives. So in Russia we don't have racism like that to blacks, but then again they make fun of you, ask you to say that you're a faggot just to, you know, to make fun of you maybe, and sometimes Russian people, you know, may punch you in the face if you act out or act stupid or whatever, because you basically piss them off. But exploitation mentality, no. Russian people don't roll like that, so they have different character. So when you're saying that all white people are the same, think twice, because that's not even true. So, and me being Russian in America, I feel fucking oppressed, because a lot of times people are fucking with me and I cannot even fucking punch them in the face, and that pisses me off. And people think I'm crazy, that I'm fucking jumping up and down and shit. You know, I'm fucking jumping up and down because I'm fucking angry. And I cannot express my anger because in this fucking land of the free, you cannot express yourself. I feel like in fucking jail in here. I feel like a fucking inmate in here myself. And I'm not even black, okay? Because I cannot express myself, I cannot scream at people, I cannot cuss people out when they deserve it, of course. I'm not saying that cussing people out left and right is a normal behavior, no. But if somebody just does shit to you, like put the motherfucker in his place, that's in my opinion a normal behavior.